Hello class, today we're going to talk about Chapter 10, Virtualization, Cloud Computing, and Printers. So the whole objective of Chapter 10 is we're going to talk about implementing and configuring virtual machines and hypervision. Then we're going to also talk about supporting cloud computing service and network. Then we have pretty much the majority of this one is going to talk about printers, the different type of printers, how to connect to the network, wireless, wired, hook directly up to the PC, how to troubleshoot printers, like if it's not printing, what you're supposed to do, and maintenance stuff on that. So let's first jump in. Virtualization. What is this? You hear this tons of time popping up. What is virtualization? Virtualization is you could have multiple desktop on your thing. Instead of having a dual boot, you could have an application like VMware Workstation or VMware Workstation, Oracle VirtualBox, or Virtual PC that Microsoft make. Then you could have different operating system installer like you do in a regular PC, and have different operating system. You have two different kind of things. You got application virtualization. And that means that you could have an application that you know how to install. And there, people could access it, but it actually not technically installed. It's something installed on a different area, but you can still access it. Another way that virtualization application is that it structure. You can have an application. If you're ever wondering if you do compatibility mode, and then you try to we're not one because it's a Windows Vista only PC, and I want to run it on a Windows 10. You can right click it and say compatibility Windows Vista. It then make the application one as is your operating system Windows Vista. Everything else is Windows 10, but the application think your system is Windows Vista. Then you have another one called desktop virtualization. What this is that you have a software where I was saying VM Workstation, Oracle VirtualBox. That's the most common one you see. And then you can install an operating system. Most people use dual boot, like have one partition as Linux, one partition as Windows. But with virtualization, you can have Windows, you can install this application, install an operating system, and then you have both. You have Linux and Windows, both the best worlds. So if you look at it, they have a picture of Oracle VM VirtualBox. You can see that they have Ubuntu and then Windows 10. They also have Windows 8 and 7. This is a nice one is that for the Security Plus class I teach is that we use VirtualBox, and then we have a version of Kernel Linux. We have that, so we use a virtual. So anything you mess up here, not going to mess up your main system right here. You could do whatever you want. You could try out. You could test programs. This is pretty nice is that, I want Ubuntu, but I don't want it to be my permanent computer. And I really don't want to keep on rebooting my PC to go into Ubuntu. I just want to have it both side by side so I could work in one, I could go back. Virtualization is a nice way. Then you come up with something called hypervision. Hypervision is like the thing in the background that telling the computer this is how you're gonna migrate the hardware. Without this, and not virtualization not work. You got two types. One type, hypervision type 1, is one that you install on the main system. It's like the OS. When you install it, you could get a brand new PC. You install this VM spare that are one thing, and then it built into your computer. So a bare bone partition hardware is your VM, and then they do different partition. So you have no main hop, and you don't have Windows 10 to install your software. It's just a Unix or Linux based operating system that's just controlling all your VM. If you look at the thing of a software called VMsphere, that was using hypervision type 1. I use it over on my computer. I have a computer that have VMsphere on it. And nice. I don't have to touch the computer. I just install the software, then I use my client to connect to that server, and that software decide how they're going to partition my my virtual machine, how my hardware get cataloged to what need to be for the operating system. Then you have type 2. Most of the time we are using type 2. That is one where you have to have an operating system installed, Windows, Linux, and then you can install an application like VirtualBox VMware workstation, that it rely on the operating system. If you don't have Windows 10 or Linux installed on your computer, you can't use Type 2. Sometimes I call them host hypervision, that you need a main operating system before you could do it. Like if you look at the computer at school or in the labs, that they do have Type 2 hypervision when they're using VirtualBox. That what it is that you have to have an operating system and the software. What's nice about Type 2 is that you could developer use it, hackers use it. That I don't want to keep on rebooting. I don't want to log into a system, remote into a system to try it. Type 1 is mostly like your data farm that you don't really care about accessing it multiple times. I could remote into it. I could do what I need to, and it'd be good to go. Type 2 is more of a client-side host one that I want to develop, but I want to develop the app on Linux, but I have a Windows. Install the VMbox, install my Linux on it. I have it right here. Plus, I have my Windows, so I know how to. I could go back and forth. A nice new honeypot thing. So what honeypot is that it isolate it in one little area on your network, so the lure hackers into it. So I could have a part here, so all the hackers want to go there. That nice of that. Student user, like we use in the lab. We don't want to keep on rebooting it. We don't want to install a whole new hard drive. We just do a VirtualBox. I could save the image or snapshot of the virtual machine, and I could keep on going over and over. I could bring it at home. It's not based on the hardware, physical hardware, like what you do when you're installing an operating system. It's just based on the software you have. So I could do something at my at school, take it home, install VirtualBox. I could do it at home. That's nice about it. Help desk users. So you call me and say, I'm having issue with Windows 10 and my machine is Linux. Like, what are you talking about? Let me walk you. I boot up Windows 10. I could walk you through with different ones. I could try different operating system. That nice is I'm a network person just getting into the field. I want to test out what Windows servers look like, or Windows Linux, or Windows, all the different kind of Windows. I'm just gonna install it on the Type 1. So when you're setting up a client virtualization, you have multiple things you need to do. First of all, you need to customize your settings. You gotta maximize your CPU core. The motherboard BIOS have to be turned on for it. Maximize your RAM, because you don't want to do virtualization if your computer is only like a gig. I don't know how many computers have a gig nowadays, but if you have a gig, you don't want to have a virtual machine, 10 virtual machines, because it'll bog it down. You're going to need a lot of storage space. The 125 gigabyte storage space is not going to cut it. A USB one could be thing. So you want to see if you have at least like 4, maybe just a 1 terabyte thing. Network. Maybe you guys see if your network requirement have it. Maybe you want to think about having multiple network cards. You never know. Emulator requirement. That what emulator is that it make it seem like you have something but it not. But you guys see that. So first, see if your CPU could support it. If your CPU can't support hypervision, or then maybe not work it. If I have a single core processor, how many of you? Everybody have a single core, right? Not really, but you want to see if you have enough CPU cores, because you're going to segregate your cores to different operating system when you do virtualization. So here I put a picture of your UFI screen. You have this Intel virtualized technology. You want to enable it so it categorize your CPU to virtualization more better, and it's categorize your app virtualized to different hardware on your computer to make it virtualized supported. So when you install and configure Type 2 hypervision, first of all, you want to install one of the software. VMware Workstation, Virtual PC by Microsoft, or Oracle VirtualBox. Then you want to see what the different operating systems. So we're going to go through different pictures and talk about it. So this is a VirtualBox main screen when you launch it. They're not going to have all these different operating systems. It's going to go blank one. So when I'm installing Windows 10, it's gonna ask me what my storage space. So I could have it different ones. I could have it show different thing for my setup for my ISO image to install it. Because when I first install it, it's not gonna think. It's gonna say I have Windows 10 and try to do a recommended setting. So you could change the setting to what you want, or you can use a recommended. So here, different one like system is base memory. I don't want to max out my memory on this. I'm gonna get enough that it could one, but I don't want. If I have 8 gigs, I'm not gonna give this VirtualBox 8 gigs because it's gonna bog down my computer because my computer only gonna use. It could be even blue screen, and so you want to give it to a reasonable, maybe a gig if you have 8 gig, but that's how you want to. The base memory is where you get things. So you're gonna have a floppy disk, gonna have an optical, and gonna have a hard drive. You could take that to how the boot order different ones. So then you have a different network. You could have it say, "Hey, I want to bridge it, so it only look like I have one network card." You could have it like this one is bridge thing. So it using my network card, but it bridging it. So they're using different paths. So using multiple like different network cards. So you got different ones. You got adapt. You got 4 adapters, but it will bog down your network. So maybe you know what to do with that. So, but you have different ones. Like I could go display, storage, audio, serial port, USB. I could configure what I want. This object is that you want to make it so your main operating system not gonna lag, and this not gonna lag because you don't want to max out everything that your other one, your main client one, because it's gonna crash and not gonna work. So securing a VirtualBox is secure your VMs within VM. You don't want to have access that on the internet that everybody can access it. Isolate it to the best one. Secure your file, encrypt it, put it somewhere else that nobody can access it. If you have it under lock and key that nobody can access it, you would pretty much the same way as you can have a password protected password, but you want to save the file. So if your computer is a multiple thing, lock it down so you only have permission to access this file where they're located. You secure it. You secure it in a locked area, put on a server. It's up to you. That's how you secure your operating system, because with a virtual machine, it's just a file that I just copy and I have all your access. So you got to be careful on that. With virtualization, it's something come out with cloud computing. What is cloud computing? This is a big thing that everybody talking about. I have it on the cloud. I do this on the cloud. I have this on the cloud. What is a cloud? Cloud is pretty much what they call it is internet. If you ever look at a network diagram, it's just a big cloud and then they say internet. So pretty much say internet computing, but in our ways, so they call it cloud computing. So with cloud computing, you pretty much can have everything on there. You can have your application, network service, website, database, application. Virtualization could even be on the cloud computing. So with cloud computing, you have different. You have public cloud. What that means? That everybody can access it. That you're not restricted. So anybody can access it. Anybody could change it. Anybody could view it. So you don't want your personal data to be on a private cloud because you don't really want that. Private cloud is a service that you own, that isolated. Like Office 365 is a private cloud that you have everything of your stuff on it. So that is one. Another communicator is SharePoint. You ever heard of SharePoint? That pretty much a communicated cloud service that multi-organization can use it and the public available if you need to. Hybrid cloud is both a public, private, and community cloud. So this could be also called SharePoint too. So, but it's pretty much thing that everybody could access it. It could be private, it could be public, it could communicate, it could be all sorts of what you want it to be. So with the element of a cloud, what's nice about it, if you have internet, it up and running anytime you want. I could go home, I could use it. I could go somewhere else, I could use it. I don't have to be physical there to use it. It had a bunch of old resources that I could use because it's on the cloud. It used a bunch of server pi clusters together that you can access it. It could support, you could anything could support it. I could go Linux, it could go Apple, it could go Windows. They all support the same thing because they're not using my resource on my computer. And nothing had to be installed. I'm just using internet-based software that Google, Firefox, Safari had to be supported. So that's the only thing limiting is that if your your browser could support it. But sometimes you don't even need the browser. Sometimes it just remote back into a area that you need. It could be a little application could install. It could be other thing. So that's pretty much what the Elementor one is. So then you got another cloud service mode. You got IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So that means is I went hardware. I don't have no hardware. I don't have no server. I have no network. It all on the cloud. I don't want to pay for it. I'm just starting out. I don't want to pay for a bunch of servers. I don't want to pay a bunch of hardware. So I'm gonna call them and say, hey, I want a IaaS infrastructure service, and I have all my servers and everything there. So I install Windows, install everything there, and I just pay them. Platform as service is the same is that I have operating system supported within. So I can just log in. I have a terminal that they are just log into my username password. Bam, my operating system there. I could do everything I want. I could install my operating system. I already think that Windows is going to try to eventually go to platform as software that you don't have a window base. You just have a username and login, and then you can access your desktop remotely. Then you have software service. That application, so pretty much like Office 365 is a software as a service. So that I just pay for Office. I have a payment throughout every month so I can have access to Office 365. Then anything as a service or anything as a service, everything as a service. That everything there that I could do, I have access to the cloud to do it. So you could do each one. You got different ones for the thing. Each one could combine. Each one you could use multiple. You could have infrastructure as service and software as service both. I have Office 365, then I have a server on the cloud. So this is what it pretty much took. So traditionally we have the application data, OS, virtual server, storage network. This is my service mode. With ISS, my operating system virtualized server storage thing is maintained by the vendor, so I don't have to have a big IT department. I could shrink it down to a little one. Then the PASS, program as a service, the same thing. So operating thing is I only have to control the application data. Then with the software service, everything managed by the vendor. So I just only access it like Office 365. I just only pay for the service. I don't have to maintain nothing because it's the Microsoft supporting it. If we want to put faith in Microsoft, then maybe you think, but everybody going over to Office 365. So application virtualization. So we were talking about that. We could have it on the cloud. So application virtualized is a server that an application is made as available to user by a virtual server. So this means that application is made available for everything because it's built on a virtual machine. So you have two options. I could have a cloud or I could have an application streaming, Steam. It pretty much an application streaming. I have all my games installed offline and then I just access it. You ever hear what NVIDIA have that all my software is on a server that I just access it. So I could have an application that I access all my games through, like Steam, or I could have a cloud-based that I just log into an application and they're on my application. Like Citrix is one that is a cloud application streaming. Office 365 is a cloud-based application because all my Office supply is on a cloud. I just log into the username and password and all my application right there. So that's what it is. So instead of having an application that touch the virtual applications, that I just log into a website and there where all my application is. So this is pretty much what it is, like application you just try now install and that. Setting up a client computer using cloud resource. pretty much like a thin client. You ever heard of a thin client? That computer is pretty much have nothing there. It just access something, a server that download the information to the thin client, and you have access. It like all your operating system is online. So I could steal that computer, nothing on there. Then you got thick and fat client that are regular computer. So your computer at home is a thick and fat client because they have everything. Zero client is pretty much nothing on it. That you have little bit and nothing. You just log on. You just have a keyboard and mouse. Just log on something, and it all cloud on the base or virtualize something resource. Thin client, I messed up. It got an OS, but it pretty much nothing on it except for the OS. You're just accessing everything from the cloud or a server that have all your resources. So two different ones. You got two VID, virtual desktop account. You got passive VID and not thing. So that means that you own the virtual desktop and you can customize everything. The other one is that you have a pool of desktop that you receive each time. So it nothing save on it. It revert back to the original state if you have the second one. But the other one you can do everything you want. Save it. A lot of companies go on that you have a network drive that you save all your storage to, like an edge drive or a shared folder. So because then everybody don't have to worry about it. Less resource to back up every time you log off to the virtual desktop account. So it pretty much everybody using the not purchase station VDI. That's the way it. So this is pretty much what it's set up. Each one's communicating back to the virtual desktop and it's sending it back down. So I just only have a username and login. It reach out and download all the information back to my computer. What's nice about it is that if someone mess it up, it's just gonna get re-imaged back down, so you don't have to worry about messing everything up. So there are a lot of things. Before we jump in the printer, virtualization is nice to just mess around with. Cloud computers taking the place of virtualization, but you got security. Security is big on it, so sometimes you gotta weigh the benefits of having cloud over or having your physical thing. If you're a small company, cloud is probably the best way to go because I only have a few a small company, few user. I don't want to buy a whole big old server for just a little bit. I could just rent one out, have all of my information there going back and forth. It's good. But if I'm a multi-million, five fortune company, I may want my own stuff. A lot of companies may go because they save them money into the long run, but they're always there security and you relying on a company for all your servers. So if that company go down, you're not going to have a server there. So you pretty much want to see what could be on the cloud and what need to be in-house. Virtualization is nice because you could put every server in one server and get rid of all. If you have 10 servers, you can take it down to one and have all your other 9 servers on that server. So you have to weigh the pros and cons, which one is nicer, which one is nice. Bigger companies, maybe virtualization. Smaller companies, cloud computing. So all what do you think? So with printer types and feature, let's jump in printer type and feature now. A printer converting digital data into a copy of a paper. So when I print it out, I'm gonna have all my information on my computer. Then I print out and going to my printer here. Print out the multi. So pretty much. You have a printer that could do pretty much anything. Like the printer here, I have a color that could copy, it could scan, it could send emails out if it need to. So it could pretty much do everything. It's like back in the day, you had to have a printer, a scanner, and then a copying machine. Now everything built in one. Scanner could, if you look at scanner, you come in with a flatbed scanner and then an automatic feeder. That means that instead of having your desktop opening, you can have the flatbed, or you can have one that copy. So there's a screen back in the thing, and it's scanned with a light and copied that way. Automatic document feed that you put up on top and feed it in and copy it that way. So a different type of printers out there nowadays. You got laser, you got ink, you got impact, thermal, and 3D. Laser printer is thing. They're using toner and use laser to burn it thing onto the paper. So what I was saying is that you have a toner, that you have a thing with dry ink that heat it up with a laser and then image it onto the paper. Instead of having it, like little thing with the cartridges, is just have a big toner with all your information. So it's 7 different parts of it. To you have processing the image, changing the condition of the drums, exposing the wire laser beam. You can read all of this, but it got different steps. So it processes the thing, put it in memory. Then it changes the corner of the drum to what it needs to. Then expose the widening laser beam to image of the drum. The toner applied to the surface of the drum. Then transfer it to the paper, and then fuse it and heat it up and put it and fuse it to the paper. So you got different ones. And why the process repeat 4 times one of each toner color. So if you have a color one, it's doing the same process 4 times. It's a lot of different ones. So different process. So if one of these break, it's not going to do it. A lot of ones you see these fusion assembly breaking, that they're not putting enough pressure to fuse down the paper. Then sometimes you're cleaning one, there's not that way. Sometimes you put it out, you see different lots of different, and that. So here's the different unit if you look at it inside. So you got the paper tray, it take it up, the drum assembly, then take it up to the fusion, put it out. Or it go up, around, up again. So this is like your tray one with 7 sitting. So take it in, bring it up, over, then clean the drum. So your drum doing most of the work, but the fusion is actually putting the information back down. So when it's rolling, it putting all the ink onto the paper, and then the fusion it down to the paper. So pretty much cartridge and other replacing is that you pretty much have to do a lot of different maintenance on it. Parts used and change to explode cleaning, so you can wear it down. Toner costs you need to clean often because it's ink dry up or ink actually get infused into it. Pickup hoses sometimes it stop working or get clogged up, that it's not picking up the paper. Might we need replaced. So pretty much a lot of stuff in the printer, if you use a lot, need to be replaced. Then you got duplex assembly. What is duplex? It's printing out both sides. So you ever see it that it print out, but then it roll it back in and then split it back out with both sides? That's what duplexing is. A lot of laser printers have that feature, but it sometimes that act up and then you have to replace it. Inkjet. What is inkjet printer? Inkjet is a cartridge with ink. You ever have it dry up on you and then you're like, oh crap, now I have to buy a whole brand new one. I don't even use it. Over time, your ink dry up. You could refill it yourself or other ones, but so it pretty much with ink, it moves your head back and forth and putting link in one text, one line at a time. So it go boo boo boo, and it keep on putting the ink down. Different types is drop ink, bubble up, different jets that bubble up the thing, and the boil up thing. You ever have a thing where you just print out something and you wipe your finger and it got all ink on? Because ink come out wet, your paper come out wet. That's the downfall of having an inkjet, is that when you print out a paper, the ink of it going back and forth get your paper wet, so you have to clean it up. Inkjet, sometime you have to include one or more ink. You probably have like yellow, blue, red, actually then one, and then black. It don't do duplex because all I'm saying is that it get wet. So if you do more, it smears. It's cheaper sometimes to buy inkjet over a toner, but eventually the ink add up. But a lot of people use inkjet because it's common and nice. It's sometimes free with your PC. So it all depends what you want. So impact printer, what is that? Best known as dark matrix printer. That you remember old paper that you used to have to roll in, they have dots. It probably passed early before your time. That had a ribbon that come back and go and that what an impact printer is. It's like the first like the original printer that had come out. That it use ink, use a ribbon to impact the data to it. It use a lot of a contractor free that allow data thing. It is extremely durable, so those PCs could last forever before it did break. So, but we're not using that much impact printers anymore. Now you have thermal printers. A lot of label printers use this. It thermal heat the image to the paper. So you have an ink cartridge that rolling, then it burning the image to the label. So if you go to a lot of label printers, it have a heating head that is burning the ink right to it. Sometimes it wax contain heat element within thermal. You could have a different paper that actually use a heat that actually wipe completely off of it. So this could use different one. Like my work used a ribbon to thermal paper, so it heat the ribbon and put it right on the paper. So a lot of manufacturing companies still using this nowadays for labels. 3D printer. What the heck is a 3D printer? I don't want to print out my 5-page research document 3D. No, that pretty much is that you could print any device 3D out of I could build a fidget spinner with one. I could do a stapler. I could do all different ones. I could make a case for something. It all depends how big is your 3D printer. I don't know if you see it, but my 3D printer is right there. That thing, so I could just print out all different stuff that 3D. So a lot of companies use it to make prototypes instead of thing. I could print it out instead of using different components make it out of steel. I could just print it out. And nice that if you're good with AutoCAD, other stuff, just print it right out. So this is big nowadays, but it's not a popular thing. But a lot of 3D models. So I want to make something hard to find. Just measure it out, print it on your 3D printer. They use filament, plastic filament, one called PLC and then one at ALS. They all depend what the different fabric. Now some of them could do carbon fiber, some could do wood, some could do other kind of plastic, some can actually do metal nowadays. They all depend what thing. The filament is just like a plastic tube that going in, heating up, and then just doing line by line going up to do your 3D printer. You could design your own thing. You could download different pictures from the website, and you could do different ones. I don't have, here a thing. So this is a piece from a 3D printer. When I bought mine, they have different trial ones. So that what it pretty much is. So print out 3D to what you want. So when you're installing using Windows, installing, sharing, and managing printer, you can install a local network printer. You can share it out to different ones that you could connect to your computer, but share it out to other ones that people connect to your computer to use it. Remotely share printer, like cell phones use it. Virtual printing, cloud printing, different kind of configure print on and features. So local and network printer. A local printer is one that connects directly to your computer. Now the USB, but it used to be what parallel port, serial. Then now USB. So it's something that connects directly to your computer, or it could connect to your wireless connection. I guess for local. Network printer is one that have an Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection to a wireless access point. So my printer hook up to a network printer. Benefit of that is I don't have to have my computer on. Because if we jump down to sharing local printer, is that my PC, if I share it out on my thing, my PC had to be on all the time for another computer to print off of it. If I have it over the network, I don't have to have my computer on. So that's the benefit of it, is that if you have a small home, maybe a network is not the, maybe not, really don't need it. But in my case is that I have a network and hook it up to the network. So you can share a local printer, like I have my printer, but my friend wants to use this, I just share it out, he could print it out using my computer. The network printer is a connect to the own network, have their own IP address, have an own NIC card, that anybody could use the IP address and connect to the printer. That's the only thing of using a share over a network. But if you don't have enough ports, your Wi-Fi slow, sharing a printer is nice. That you just have to have your computers on. So it all depends what you preferences. So here are different things. So my network printer is that I have A, B, C, and D could talk to the network, but D, C, and B can't connect to the local. Only A. But if I share it out, and then D, C, B just connect to computer A to print out locally. That's the only thing, is that printer hook up to your computer is local. Printer that hook up to network is network printing. So wired and wireless printer connection. You are connecting a wire printer. Pretty much you have to sometimes hook up the USB cable, and then it connect, and then you install the wireless, and then you could get configuration to it. Sometimes most of the computers USB. Like if you only have one computer hook up to your house, you're not gonna go to the hassle and plug in your network cable, see if you have a network cable to hook it up with. Just hook it up to USB and you'll be good to go. Serial, you're not going to have that many. That older printer using serial cable, like the big pillar port in the back, that pink. A lot of time, the older ones, but newer ones is coming with USB. Then you have Ethernet that I was saying is pretty much like a regular Ethernet cable that we made in the class or use as a network. So you want to connect your Ethernet printer to the wall switch or different ones and connect to the network. So it all depends. Home use, USB good. Company use, Ethernet. Serial is obsolete now. Label printers still use serial for the common, but pretty much USB is a standard everywhere. Then you have Bluetooth that is short range that my phone could connect to it. Not that many computers still use Bluetooth, but it's there. Then you have Wi-Fi infrastructure that what I say is connect to your Wi-Fi. A lot of computers have Wi-Fi over Ethernet because it's cheaper, less hardware to put in it for the thing. So you still have this option. Nice that I could Wi-Fi. I could put it anywhere in my house with a plug. I just need power, and I could connect to anywhere in my house. So if I don't want it in my office, I want it. You can put it in your bathroom if you want to. I don't know why you want to put it in your bathroom, but you could. It with Wi-Fi. If you have a plug, you're good to go. Then you have Wi-Fi ad host network that it pretty much connect directly to a computer with other Wi-Fi. So it pretty much like it connect like my printer hook up to this PC, but then this PC can access. So it's pretty much like Wi-Fi sharing. That would pretty much what it is. So installing a local or network, pretty much. You need a You need a 32-bit driver or a 64-bit driver. So you need a driver. A lot of computer, a lot of new older printer, have Windows have a built-in driver for it, ready to go. But if you're not, it comes with a CD. If you don't have a CD, just go to the website of the vendor and download it from there. Otherwise, many Windows are built in already. But sometimes you have to go to the thing. If you don't have a CD player, like a lot of computers nowadays don't have a CD player. You just go and download it from the vendor, like HP, just go HP.com. If it Dell, just go Dell.com. If it goes support and download from there. You just have to find out if it's Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 10, and then get the 64. If it's 64, if it's 32, get a 32. So get the driver for your operating system. And then you just go to the control panel and install it that way. But if you're doing a software, you don't need to worry about that. But if your software know it, you know the driver there, then you just go to the like setting app or Windows 10X, then go to the control panel and install a printer. So when the way you're showing a printer, you do exactly what you do when you install a printer. So your printer there, you got it. So then you go to the control panel, and then you go to the property of the printer. So you go control panel, device, and printer. Click on that and go to the printer you want, and go right click and properties. And then you have a tab that called sharing. Then you just share a name or what you want to, and then you share it out. You could put permission who want to connect to it or not, but that pretty much it. But then your computer is the print server of everything. So if you ever heard of a print server, is that I have a bunch of network printer. I want to hook it up to my print server. So all my printers connected to this one server that where my print queue is. So then all these computers connect to the printer, and then it categorizes it to a printer you're going to, or the share, instead of having everybody print directly into the printer. Benefit of having a print server is that printer had memory still. So if you bombard the printer with bunch of prints, you're gonna bog down. It may even cancel some of the print. It may mess up. So with the print server, it's set in there. The print queues, printing information sitting in the queue. Then eventually, when the computer printer ready, it tell you, hey, next queue, next print in the queue, and then print it out and so on. So it benefit of having multiple PC hookup to it, multiple things. So like if I have a network printer and I have 100 people connected to it at once, I'm gonna have problems. So if I have a print server with hundreds, so everybody send it all at once. I don't know how if they that everybody send one document at once for your printer. I not see it, but it could. And the print server just queue each one, so the next whoever sending the first get print out first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So pretty much a centralized computer there that you share it out, that everybody connect to the server instead of the printer. So securing a printer is that on the security tab of the thing, I could restrict people from accessing it. I don't even want Group A to access it, so I put Group A only the one who accessing, block Group B. You could see who nobody could delete or view anything in the queue. You could do that. So events, property, print directly to the printer. You can do all that. So you could prevent anything from viewing your queue. You could send anything else. So using your share printer, you could, to install it, you could go to settings app. You could go to device and printer and just use your name of the printer when you're installing it. Or you could just go in the File Explorer. So go backslash or / computer name and printer. Connect you, or just use the computer name. It can show you a list of all the share thing and just click on it and install it that way. Device printer, you're doing the same way, but you go add printer and then it's put in the path of your server, and then you go that way. So this is one. So you go select printer, share name, and then find it, and then pop it up. Say, hey, this is the one. Or you can just go to the File Explorer, find the printer, and just install it, and install it that way. When you're setting up a print server, you have to put the driver in. Because if I don't have the right driver in there, it's going to just look at you and say, hey, what's going on? So if I have the 64 driver there, try to install a 32, it's just going to freak out and say, I don't have the driver. Do you want to look for it? So you want to also put the 32 driver in there. So when you click on it install it for you. So virtualized printing instead of having a file producing hard copy printed, it virtualizes. So like, I want to make a PDF file using. I don't want to actually print it out. I'm conserving. I'm green. I don't want no paper and paperless. I can do PDF files, so I can print all my document to PDF and then save it somewhere else for a thing. I could image a file, then print everything into image, then print a file that print and put it in a file. A lot of people, I use PDFs to file because then it print out in like PDF 959 or Word, Microsoft PDF. It's nice that I want to have a bunch of things. I have this Word document that I want to convert to PDF. Just print it off in PDF, send it out where you need to. So that the benefits of having virtualized that it not printing out hard copy, it's just printing out another file, digital file for you to do what you need to. Cloud printing is just printing information down to the cloud that you could actually mobile devices printing. So instead of having anything, I could print out. It could send it to the over the internet to another printer. It could send it to my OneDrive. It could send it to another drive on the internet. So like Google Cloud Printing or that it prints. So it print anywhere on the internet from a computer or mobile devices. I could set up my printer to be cloud. So if I'm somewhere, I could print it. If I'm on my laptop and this printer, I could access my printer over the internet. They're nice about doing that. I would need to print something on my phone. I can just go boom, boom, print out, good to go. So they're nice for having cloud computing. Make sure that all the document is encrypted because it's going over the internet and anybody can access it. So if I'm doing it in the middle of the airport, somebody could look at your printing out your bank statement. So have it encrypted. So a lot of people have different feature and devices. You could do the different sizes. If I want to use bigger format, like I have a big map, I want to print it out on a 15 by 11. I could do the paper size. I could do landscape or portrait. Quality, I can make it not that good if I don't want to. If I'm printing out a picture, I want to make it better quality picture to do it. I could do a black and white. I could do a color. It's up to me on the color option. I want, say, paper, so I'm going to have it back and forth. I don't want to have 10 paper. I'm going to just do 5 because I could do duplex. Different very option. I could do DPI, the dot print info thing that I can make it quality a little bit different. So all different one you want to do. You could change that it print just red if you have a color printer. It's all what you want to do. But sometimes if you mess it up, it won't print right. It start airing out and then you have to realize what's going on. To extend your printer life, you want to see what the manufacturers say. And do the necessary routine maintenance. What they say is that maybe over 1,000 you want to take it out, clean it out, do stuff like that. After 2,000 you want to change the fusion toner. It's a lot of printers have it built in that over a certain amount it warn you and say, hey, you should look at this. You should change the race cement thing, the fusion different one. Toner may be going bad. You may want to change that. So just follow the theme and you do it. They're pretty much the manufacturer will say pretty much as per paper you print out is what you want to do. So if you're printing out 5,000 paper, maybe look at it. It's just like a car with miles. If you put too many miles on a car and you're not changing the oil, after a while the engine wear down and break. Same thing with the printer. So online support is pretty much what it is, that all your information online. So if something happened, I have error code 5543. Let's go online document, look at it, just look at the common problems that I put there. Maybe 5539 is a common problem that everybody have, and just rebooting it by holding the power button for 5 seconds to fix it. Update the driver. Maybe the driver's bad. You never know. So the pretty much online document is probably where you go to find if you need something or see what be causing it, and then you can go from there. Not a common issue. So if a common issue is going to be there. Protect your thing by turning it off and unplugging it. Wait 30 minutes. Maybe it work. Never look in the laser beam. I don't know if anybody tell you, but if you don't want to put it because you go blind, use the ground bracelet when you're working into it and help other nearby. So it'll help other things. So if you have if you don't know, have somebody help you. Then never be mad if you ask for help. That IT is so. You never want to say I don't know what to do and break it more. If you don't know it, ask somebody else. The main thing, because I could be a print expert and or I could be a network expert, but I don't know nothing about printer. Vice versa. So ask. General problem is that general direction is turn off the printer, turn on the printer, and open the front cover to replace the toner. Hit the latch. Don't force the cartridge into it because it should slide right easy. So if you force it in it, something blocking it, you could bring more. So just take a line. If you don't know it, look online. Maybe show you a picture of somebody putting it in, and you're like, "Oh, I'm doing it completely wrong. I put it backward and upside down." So clean your printer. Just get a damp cloth and wipe it down. Do not use any big cleaner like ammonia-based cleaner because it could damage it. Just wipe down any paper area because you don't want the paper get clogged up, and don't blow the toner cartridge because you should have a lot of mess. If you go in there, blow it, all the toner everywhere go. You just have your room black. So if you want a room black, do it. But if you don't, just get a nice vacuum cleaner that's certified and just clean it out. Magnetized brush, clean it out nice. So we'll just wipe it out with a damp cloth. Get a nice vacuum cleaner that's supported. Vacuum all the toner. Don't blow it out, and you should be good to go. So a lot of calibrated printer, a lot of PCs, a lot of printer. I mean, automatically do it and calibrate itself, align it, and do everything. Sometimes you need a tool that may do it, but pretty much the software that comes with it is going to calibrate it for you. When you change the ink cartridge, it's calibrating, and then it complete your desktop do a thing. So inkjet, not a print. So it doesn't print after calibration is nozzle. Maybe you have to manually clean it to wipe down the little bottom of it. Maybe it got dry out ink in it. Check the manufacturer website and see what's going on. Maybe it's a common issue that you have to hold power button and up to reset it or something. Laser already calibrate itself. So like if you have a print on, all of a sudden it say calibrating, it do it time to time. So don't worry. So this is why I say maybe you need to clean the bottom because it could be a little bit of dry ink here that you need to wipe clean. It happened many times, so you're not be the first one to do it. Because if you're not using it over time, ink will dry. Then you got maintenance kit. Maintenance kits have things that need to be changed over time. It could be rollers. It could be the little buttons on it. They got pretty much everything you need to do it. So like your special tools in it, tips how to do it, what you need to do. Stuff you need to replace is like the toner cartridge on the image, drums, and the diffuser. So if you have a lot of things that going out faded and not really good, the drum is the thing. But if you have stuff that going out blank or coming out kind of like a lot of different area, fusion is bad. Toner is if over time you're using enough and you need to change it. So, but each of the maintenance kits have everything you need to do what they need to. You want to do it over like 1,000 papers or I don't know how many different papers, but your vendors will tell you what you need to do. So different kind of troubleshooting. They got different ones. Rebooting it, maybe fix it. Paper jams is a big one. Is that you want to see all the rollers areas, maybe a little teeny weeny piece of paper there. The big one thing is interviewing the people, telling me what's going on, how this issue start, what is the common issue. Maybe the rollers are worn out and not doing it right, so maybe you need to look and get a whole new roller system for your printer. So you pretty much you have to interview to see what exactly you want. You maybe want to print out a couple papers, see what's going on, and then big one is online resources, see what any common issue on this or what people have been doing to fix it. Online resources is pretty good when you're just going to the vendor and reading other people having the same issue. When you think the problem is fixed, actually use it to print out the paper what they need. Maybe it's a certain kind of paper that's messing it up. You think it's good, but it may not be good. But when you fix a printer, there's always see if your end user is good. Then document it, because this issue may not happen for a year, and it happened the beginning of the year. You're like, oh crap, what I did. So document is the number one. Fix it, see what the user do, and document it. So if the printer does not print, what you do? So you can use this flow chart on the next slide. Is that see if the application works. See if you can communicate to the printer. That's the first thing. I can't communicate it to it. Maybe the Windows driver's bad. Maybe I don't have the correct driver. I gotta look at it. Maybe that application that I'm using that printer not working. So here's the thing. Can you print from the application? No. Then you jump down to, can you print a test print? If you can, there's something wrong with the application. But if you can't, then you gotta see what's going on. No, I'm not saying. Then can you then check the power of the printer. It online. Maybe they say offline. Maybe somebody went over, trip over the power, the network card, take it offline. Maybe something wiggle on your back and USB pop up. So you gotta see that. Then can you print out test bits after you do it? Yes. Okay. Then you're good to go. If not, then troubleshoot the printer more to go back up to see again. But maybe yes. I can't print. Just check if the application wrong. Maybe suspect a problem with the printer drive. Maybe not compatible with the application. So maybe switch out the cable. You never know. Try all different ones. Switch out the network cable. Switch out the USB. Try all different ones. So first of all, if you're not printing from an application, try printing tests out of it. Because if a print test works, then you know something. Like the application on my work, they print smiley face and happy. So if the part is good, it print happy. If the part is bad, it prints sad. So they always complain that, oh, this application not working, not printing. We're not printing. The printer is broken. So we go out, we test out. We wait if they want it apart. We wait till they're done, see if it print. If it not, then we jump into Windows test print. Oh, it print. Something going on with the application. Let me go in the settings to see what application. Oh, it worked fine. Just restart and relaunch the application and fix it. So you always want to see if you could print out that test print. If you can't, then you could jump into other stuff. But maybe it test print, you jump in the queue. Oh my God, I have so many queues back up. What's going on? I say error. Maybe one error out. Delete that one. Oh, it's all printing back out. Maybe, one print is stuck in the print queue. You printer know how to do it and jam up everything. We start the print Windows Server print server, print spool server. That the service. That the one that control your printing of your document. If that thing, ping your printer. See if you could connect. Ping it. If it can't print, you know it offline. So check why it's offline. It could change the IP address. It could that common one, if a DHCP and I put a static, it change the IP address, and that's the only main issue right there is they pointing to the old IP address. With printer, you only want to use set it up using the host name, because if you have DHCP set up, and then change the name, it still could print. If you're not gonna put a host name, use static only. Then you not have to worry about it changing. If it still go on, verifying the papers, go see what they review online. Troubleshoot until the printer is good thing. Maybe it printing fine, but it printing out of line. Maybe change the toner out. Oh, they're good to go. It printing out, but it printing out faded. Maybe the fuser is bad. That could give you a clue. So if you still can't do it, take it to a certified repair shop. Maybe have HP come in and take a look if you have an HP printer. If you're power connectivity or sharing, see what's going on. Maybe someone just turned off the PC if you're sharing it. Maybe the server have updated and rebooting itself, stuff like that. Change the network cable if you think the printer is bad. So you just go configure thing, one diagnostic, ping it, check if the IP address same, see if there's someone trip over the network cable and plug it. So they're pretty much saying if it poor printing quality, maybe the printer using paper using is not best quality. Maybe use it too much and need to cool down. So unplug it for 30 minutes, let it cool down. Maybe the drum need to be replaced. Toner is low and it need to be replaced. Fuser need to be replaced. There are different ones. Like if you have gray background, image drum is worn out. Like if you have the really gray, but if it coming out fine, but all the blue is missing, maybe you need a blue ink. If you have a color blazer, maybe you have a piece of paper stuck in there that it doing a part right there they're missing, and they try to do it, but this piece of paper messing up. So if you're not, just clean it out. Like if you have inkjet, it may dry. You may have slow supply. Check if you have that. Clean it out with a sponge. Dry ink. Ink cartridge have a thing of all the ink dry out. Maybe your USB is not sending out correctly. It grab all character on your paper, so you have different ones, but it different messing up. So maybe upgraded driver may be causing it because it losing connection, but coming back, but it's not sending out the correct information. That way, all jumbled characters everywhere. Or it may even send out that if you ever have a wrong driver, print out with all the different symbols. Maybe that why, because your print driver is wrong. Get the correct print driver. Low memory is what I was saying. If you have a bunch of printers printed out so many times, it will bog down. You may even have a big document that your printer can't hold in the memory, so it's gonna error out and say low memory. Maybe this flashing a long time, it take a very long time to print. So just do it simple, like do one page at a time, let it slow out, and do a thing. Maybe take some images out and thing for it, because printers have memory that you need to. So pretty much all the thing is virtualization. Then you can have multiple computers on one PC. You could have a PC dedicated for virtualize that you have an operating system like vMsphere that you install like a Windows-based or Linux-based operating system, and then you could control it with the client. That PC is just virtualized, that you could remote into it or access it from that way. Then you have one that on your desktop, like virtual PC, VMware workstation, that you could have different operating system all at once. Then you have cloud computing, that pretty much everything on the internet. Application, hardware, services. Big one we're using now is Office 365, that all your office is on the internet, that you can access anywhere you go. That nice. Then you have different kind of printers. You got LaserJet, inkjet. Which one better? Depends what you like. I like LaserJet over ink, but ink is nice because it's cheaper printer, but you pay more for the ink over time. Laser is more money, but it saves you money in the long run. How you troubleshoot it, different settings, different go back and forth how to do it. Driver, see if it connected, see if you could do a print test, see if application is messing up, all different ones. So whatever make it easier for you is the way you troubleshoot it. First, print test not work, check if the connectivity, USB disconnected, network connected. If you're not, then go for that. You could go on a line with like HP.com if an HP printer, see if it's a common issue. So you have all these different resources that you can use. Google is a big one. Google it up and say, this is what my printer doing. Somebody say, this is how you fix it. So with this, I have a discussion for the discussion 10. Please post. Everybody required a part of the grade is to post 1 and comment on 2. So if you have any question on this, post it. I get back to you. I keep on monitoring every day. And we talk about it. Maybe you have a question about virtual. Maybe you have a question about printing. Just post it. No answer is dumb. So, please post it, and I could get back to you and try to explain it. Again, let's do it. And we got the labs on there. Try to do the labs, and you got my email and phone number. So I hope to see you on the discussion board.